Welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. We're back again with another live stream bringing you the Chelsea latest news. Hope you all are doing well wherever you guys are. Hope you all are having a fantastic weekend. International break is quite boring, but Chelsea always keeps us nice and entertained. Look, this particular news you guys will all be aware of right now. There seems to be a bit of a fraction. There seems to be a bit of a nuisance that's happening within the Chelsea ownership. But a lot of us kind of saw this a while back. A lot of us had the feel of it that there seems to be certain change of direction within the ownership. In the first year of the ownership, Todd Bowley took over. Well, Todd Bowley was the driver. Todd Bowley was the chairman. He was the face of the football club. Many still believe he is still the face of the football club. I don't think he really is. He may still be used as the face of the football club, but at the end of the day, Iqbali is the one that's been running the show for the past greater than 12 months, since last summer window, not the summer window that just went. So since then, we've seen how Todd Bowley was operating. He was trying to bring in well-experienced players, not just from the age factor, but players that have plethora of experience at the highest level. He was trying to bring them in and support the manager at that stage, Thomas Tuchel. And his ideology was different. He was looking for marquee players, which was beneficial from a marketing standpoint. He was looking for well-established players, for a manager that is looking to compete at the highest level. And that was banished, that was abolished. Iqbali stepped in last summer. Pochettino came in, and then we started to see a different direction under Iqbali. It was well reported that Iqbali is the one that is driving. He's more making, he's the one who's making the decisions far more. And Todd Bowley has taken a bit of a back seat. And since Iqbali's taken over, we can see the change in direction. There has been a lot of kids that we've brought in last summer. Plethora of kids that's been brought in last summer. And some of those kids are not making it at Chelsea, and they've been either sold or loaned out this particular summer. This summer as well, we've brought in quite a lot of kids. Yes, we've also brought in some experience, no doubt about that. However, many other aspects of the football club has been cleared out throughout this Iqbali period, this for the past 12, 13, 14 months or so. There's been a huge shakeup in the academy. There's been obviously the likes of Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart. They're the ones who have been placed to be the sporting directors of Chelsea Football Club. And the chopping and changing of managers continued. Graham Potter left, Pochettino came in, Pochettino left. And, well, Graham Potter, we can probably say that was in the first year when Todd Bowley was still very much involved. So maybe you can spare the Graham Potter side of things. But Pochettino was brought in. Pochettino was then sacked. And then we've also brought in a manager who's also inexperienced at the highest level. So I guess, look, ladies and gentlemen, you guys would have all seen my video earlier, late on yesterday, UK time, early today for me in Sydney time. You guys would have seen my stance on it. I want to know what your stance is. Enough about me always providing my opinions. And I know sometimes some of you guys might get a bit annoyed with my opinions. No problems. I want to hear from you guys. First of all, how do you feel about the fact that we've got owners? You've got the majority owner, majority shareholder, Clearlake Capital, 61 point something percent, more than 60%. And you've got Todd Bowley, who I believe is probably, 20% or less than 20%, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. The percentages are written there, but he is a minority shareholder. How do you guys feel about the consortium? How do you guys feel about the fact that Iqbali and Todd Bowley, the relationship have soured, even though they're acting professionally, even though Bowley is still being consulted and he still signs off on things, no problems. But ultimately, the majority shareholder is Iqbali, Clearlake Capital. He's the representative of Clearlake Capital, along with, I believe, Jose Feliciano, who's also involved in the entire piece. How do you lot feel about this? The fact that the owners can't seem to look at each other eye to eye. They have a different vision as to where Chelsea Football Club needs to go, whether it's recruitment, whether it's on the field performances, and also the stadium redevelopment plans. So I want to know how you guys feel about this. And then the second part of this entire question is, who do you want to see represent Chelsea down the track? Looks like, I think it is going to be beneficial for Chelsea if one party buys out the other party, as opposed to both parties trying to work things out. I think it's far more better for the football club if there's just a one straight up owner. Who would you like that to be? And what would your remit or your objectives be for that particular owner? Are you happy so far how Eghbali has been running this show in the past 12, 13, 14 months? I want to know how you guys feel about all of this. Let's go. Big up to each and every one of you guys. 108 already in the building, which is fantastic to see. Smash the like button, comment away. I'm going to pick up all your comments and we're going to try and make a discussion about it. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Okay, Jack. I feel like Todd Boehly is the problem, to be honest. All right, fair enough. A lot of people are saying this, that Todd is the problem. He's brought in a lot of players in the first season for Thomas Tuchel, but then we ended up sacking Thomas Tuchel, and those players have flopped. Now, I've seen this narrative, and I've seen this notion that's been driven by certain parts of the fan base that Todd Boehly is actually the issue. Under Eghbali, now it's better. Now, what I will say is that I feel like Todd Boehly was working with the manager and trying to understand, what can I give you in order to compete at the highest level. I really do think Todd Boehly is not the one that got rid of Thomas Tuchel. Eghbali is the one, which has been reported by The Athletic. Eghbali is the one that got rid of Thomas Tuchel because they just didn't see eye to eye. Eghbali wanted day-to-day updates, and Thomas Tuchel simply didn't have the time to do that. I truly believe if Thomas Tuchel was still around in that particular season, we don't finish 12th. We have a respectable finish, and then we can, kick on from there in the following season. We had a disastrous season, and it was even further made worse because of the players that we bought for Thomas Tuchel. Graham Potter came in, and they simply didn't mesh up together. Those players that was brought in for Tuchel did not work out for Graham Potter, and then we were left in a mess. And then Graham Potter was left with a plethora of players, 40 plus players, and even him, we could not give him the right environment to succeed. So, I mean, is it really Todd Boehly? Yes, Todd Boehly brought in Aubameyang. Don't forget, this is the same Aubameyang that went to Marseille and still banged in goals. Aubameyang wasn't the only problem at Chelsea Football Club. There was many other players that weren't performing. Players that were there from the previous regime that weren't performing. Players that are left as well. So people say, he brought in Koulibaly. Koulibaly is a very good defender. It's shocking that it didn't work out at Chelsea Football Club. It really is shocking. Raheem Sterling was doing well under Thomas Tuchel in the early stages. And then obviously Tuchel got sacked. And now we see where Raheem Sterling is at. Now, you look at some of the other players since last summer, since Eghbali has taken over. Besides probably Cole Palmer, who's an absolute outlier, can we actually put our hand on our hearts and say, okay, well, this player's also worked out, or that player's worked out? There's been some good performances, but nothing to say that that they've been outstanding. I don't think so. So to just say Todd Boehly was the real problem, I don't know, man. I think his heart was in the right place to help out a manager to compete, and he wasn't really only thinking about the profit side of things or cutting costs and wage structure, which is all necessary. Don't get me wrong, it is necessary. But at the end of the day, what is even more necessary is to win. And I think Todd Boehly really wanted to win. I'm not saying Eghbali doesn't want to win, but I think Eghbali is more interested about making Chelsea profitable, I feel. All right, Ryan, big up to you. Aubameyang was a pay-to-play contract. They forced Potter not to use him because they didn't want to pay him. I don't know. Maybe there's some truth behind that, but I'm not sure about that one. But interesting point, Ryan. Kuba, big up to you. Big up, Ms. Bowley was the brains and bronze behind the Chiesa and Osimhen swap transfer, so he deserves to go. Bowley was the brains and bronze behind the Chiesa and Osimhen swap transfer, so he deserves to go. I don't really understand that, but if you want to, elaborate a little bit more, Kuba, maybe. Abramovich should come back and buy Chelsea from those losers. That's never going to happen. Super Monty, big up to you. Sterling on 325k. The new Lukaku we can't get rid of. Look, sure, yeah. We messed up with the wages, but yes, he's not worked out. However, when we did get him, and when we felt that Thomas Tuchel was still around, I don't think many was opposed to that particular player coming to Chelsea Football Club. There is definitely a serious level of player there. It's unfortunate it didn't work out. And as I said, there's a lot of players that hasn't worked out at Chelsea Football Club. This isn't a Sterling thing, Super Monty. We paid him high wages. Now, okay, well, you might be saying that Bowley made an error there, but so was Igbali was there too. Like 325k. I'm pretty certain. Yes, Bowley at that moment was the chairman, but I don't think he just willy-nilly just did this all on his own. I'm sure Igbali would have had some say in the entire transaction. So 325k on Sterling at that moment, I don't know. Like how could we have got Sterling to Chelsea Football Club for Thomas Tuchel with what level of wages? He was already on good wages. So Sterling at that point was, I don't know. I personally feel maybe that was warranted. Now looking back, yeah, what a waste. What a waste. Yeah, now looking back is what a waste. But what are we going to do? Are we never going to buy a particular player that is going to be on high wages? Is that the policy from now on? Is that the direction we're going to? I don't think that entire thing is just on Bowley per se. He is the minority shareholder after all. Because I will say it, Catalina Nana Kim should have brought the club. That woman did show she knows football more than our owners. Yeah, I think she was from the Korean, South Korean consortium. She also had a consortium with some of the other people from UK. Jack, big up to you. Having ambition and screwing it up like Bowley has early days has set us back, and Igbali is rightly annoyed that he can't get deals done due to Bowley's PSR mess. Well, fair enough, man, fair enough. Looks like some of you guys believe that maybe we're in the right direction. Let me know. Do you guys really feel that we are perhaps in the right direction right now? Super Monty, Bowley was sporting director, Ms. Okay, well, so what? Igbali just didn't do anything about it at that time. I'm pretty certain Igbali is the one that wanted to get rid of Thomas Tuchel. So how do you make sense of all of this? Like, you want to make him sporting director for Sterling's 325k, but is he also the one that got rid of Thomas Tuchel? Is Bowley the one that got rid of Thomas Tuchel? I'm pretty certain there were reports out that Bowley didn't want to get rid of Thomas Tuchel. He was trying to mend things with Thomas Tuchel and Igbali. But yeah, let me know, guys, if you truly do think that under Igbali we're now going the right way. Let me know your thoughts. Hashal, we fans were never worried about players' wages during the Roman era. All we cared about was to see good football and winning trophies. Yeah, look, I'm not going to lie. I honestly started thinking about wages since the new owners have come through. Prior to that, I didn't bat an eyelid too much on wages, Like, we used to buy players on high wages under Roman era quite regularly. And it didn't bother me too much. Yes, now we are more woke, I suppose, and we pay a lot of attention with these sort of things. But none of these are culminating us to compete any better. Do you know what I mean? At the highest level, yeah, we might have reduced our wage bill, but are we competing any better? I don't think so. I'm not saying that don't reduce the wage bill for to be sustainable as a football club. Yes, we need to do that. I think we were being stupid previously. No problems. But it's not like we did this wage cutting and all of a sudden we've become superheroes. No, we haven't. I'm Benji. Benji, big up to you. How you doing? Guys, don't get it wrong. Todd is very, very ambitious, but he is the minority and more likely to leave. Yeah, of course. Look, unless Todd Bowley somehow partners up with a huge Middle Eastern owner or another owner and then puts in a proposal for Clear Lake Capital that, hey, here's the money, take it if you want, and then he can take over. But you'd think that's probably not going to happen. It's going to be Iqbali who's probably going to buy all his shares, and they're going to try and be majority shareholder. Chilwell, all those saying Sterling wasn't needed, then forget he helped this club at some point. You win some and you lose some. Yeah, look, at that time when we bought him for Thomas Tuchel, I don't think many disagreed. I really don't think many disagreed. King, Iqbali has learned from Todd in terms of getting experience, and that's why we got Neto and Felix in the window. Iqbali got the wage structure right and even got Sancho. Therefore, now it is on Maresca. Well, okay, let's talk a little bit about this. I really like the Neto purchase. However, there is a question mark around that. Neto is not the most fittest player out there. So we have to hope that Neto stays fit and we look after his health, basically. Felix is a player I love a lot. Same with Neto. I love this player, right? Felix, I love this player. However, is Felix the right player that we needed at this time? In terms of squad building, was he essential? Was he essential? Sancho is another player that I like a lot. And I think this was more of an opportunistic purchase, in my opinion, because Sancho fell out with Man United. We got him on a cheap in terms of obligation to buy next season. And there could be a potential chance that Sancho could rediscover himself and become the kind of player that we all thought. But however, once again, is Sancho the player that we needed? Don't forget, in this entire window, yes, we brought on some really nice players, man. Pedro Neto, João Felix, Sancho, lovely, lovely players. However, goalkeeper, do we have an elite level goalkeeper? No. Defender, do we have boss defenders? No. Midfield, what's going on? We brought Caicedo, Enzo, Lavia, but we can't seem to, Lavia, there's injury issues, but we can't seem to get the best out of Caicedo and we can't seem to get the best out of Enzo Fernandez, regardless of who the manager is. So what's going on there? KDH, was that really required? Even though I think KDH, if he plays, I think he'll be a good player for Enzo Maresca, but once again, was he required? We got in Chukwuemeka the season before, but we don't utilize him. And now I think he's only going to play in the Conference League. So, and then we don't have a striker. So great, we brought in some lovely players, but have we really built a squad under Iqbali's guidance, right? That's something we need to think about. Big up, my man, Iwani. I will never take us as a serious unit when our manager, as well as half of our starting 11, needs to go. Look, I don't believe half of our starting 11 needs to go. I think there's quality in a lot of their players, but a lot of these players that we have, my only issue is I think some of them weren't required. I believe some of them weren't required, and we could have brought in other players that was more needed for the squad building, right? Sasuke, thank you so much for the super chat. Hedge fund people are the worst. Miz really worried for our club. Profits will be the only thing on their minds. Well, on that as well, profits will be only thing on their minds. We don't have a front of shirt sponsor yet. Again, second season running. We don't have that. So there's a lot of money that we're getting missed out on there. Our stadium is not the biggest stadium in the Premier League. For a club the size of Chelsea Football Club, we don't have a big stadium. So are we really making that much money? Our biggest revenue stream is just buying players and selling players at the moment. That's where the biggest revenues are coming from. Of course, there's the TV rights and whatnot. I get that. But a lot of the other football clubs are getting that as well, the TV rights. That's not a problem. We're not in the Champions League. Conference League really doesn't give us that level of money. So in terms of profit as well, are we really making a lot of profit? Is Chelsea Football Club going out there and making a ton of profit? I don't know. I don't think so. In terms of players buying and selling, maybe we're doing that. Yes. Our net spend for this particular window was, I think it's going to get to zero or about 10 million or 20 million, right? So from a player perspective, profitability from there, yes, okay, we're making profits there. But as a broader perspective, are we really making profit from other aspects of football? I don't think so. At least Cassidy and Carney is staying. The owners should care about winning, not money anymore. I want top 4 this season. Well, this is the thing. Now that some of you guys have established the fact that you're happy that maybe down the track, Bowley will be bought over. You're happy the direction Iqbali is taking us. What is your expectation under Iqbali? I want to know. Let me know in the live chat. Nearly 250 of you guys are live right now. Thank you so much for joining. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification as well. What's your expectation if Iqbali does end up taking over Bowley? What do you want to see from Iqbali? How would you judge him? When will you judge him? Let me know in the live chat. Angela Gabriel treatment was horrible. Well, this is what's going to happen when you bring in a lot of young players. Not everyone's going to get an opportunity, and you're going to have to let go of them. David Datra Fofana, you could probably say, has his treatment. Do you know what I mean? David Washington has his treatment. Kuba, Mizamen Bowley let Osimhen and Chiesa join different clubs. Sorry, my English isn't very good as I come from America. I get it now. I get what you mean. Okay, fair enough. Jack, I'm confused here, guys. We lost players like Musiala, Salah, De Bruyne under Roman. We treated players worse under Roman. But we won trophies. I think that's the bottom line, Jack. We won trophies. This is the 3rd season under new ownership, and it's not like we're getting closer to winning trophies. Shivendra, big up to you, my man. Big up Ms. Iqbali refusing to budge with both the age and wage structure for even 2 to 3 players with no experience in the team is a problem. Yeah, look, there are some quality, well-experienced players out there, and they may be above the age of 25 or just a tad less than 30. Like, for example, I think a lot of you guys wanted Guressi, right? A lot of you guys were excited about Guressi, who's the Stuttgart striker. I believe he was 29. He might have been a cheeky purchase for Chelsea Football Club, but Chelsea's not interested at that age. Do you know what I mean? And there's many more examples like that where there's some cheeky purchases to be made for players that are that their maturity is a lot more. Having so many kids can be a problem where they are, transitioning from being kids to being an adult, and they need role models, right? But when you buy like the 28, 29-year-old, predominantly, these players, they've seen it all already. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not there to Mickey Mouse around. They're not there doing social media shenanigans. Majority of them, predominantly, that age bracket is not doing these type of shenanigans. There are the odd outliers, I'm not going to lie, but predominantly those those age bracket are more focused in life. Do you know what I mean? Sedan, it's interesting how Bowley became the face of ownership, even though he has minority stake, and Iqbali is the one who is making the decisions. Because you know how this all started? This all started from the first season when they first took over. Bowley was the face, talking to everyone and doing whole heap of negotiation. He was basically the sporting director at that time. And since then, it stuck with everyone that he's the guy, he's the main face. But what people fail to realize that Iqbali has well and truly taken over since the last summer. And now majority of the decisions are really Iqbali-driven decisions. Kuba Miz, that wasn't me, but a fake me. Anyway, my opinion. What the? Opinion hasn't changed at all. Clearlake is all about money from the very beginning. It's a money-first approach. Football is secondary. No enjoyment. Yeah, fair enough. Shuan, big up to you, Miz. Why are we balancing books of other teams? For example, Kellyman. Oh, wow. There you go. Oh, wow. I forgot about Kellyman, you know. I completely forgot. See, this is the thing. When you buy that many players, you're going to forget. Kellyman is another youngster that we bought this window, along with all the other youngsters that we bought. 19 million for Kellyman. What kind of a purchase was that? Yes, we were balancing Aston Villa's books. I think this might have been one of those situations where Aston Villa said, we'll buy your pure profit, Ian Martin, you buy our pure profit, Kellyman, so that we can all help each other out and live happily ever after. We did the same thing with KDH, I believe, with Leicester, right? Leicester bought Michael Golding, and we bought KDH, helping each other out in the financial fair play business. Sasuke, thank you so much for the super chat again. We will become the Dortmund of English football. Look, do you know what? Let's not disrespect Dortmund. Dortmund's a very good team, you know. Dortmund actually compete. They compete in the they compete in the Champions League. They compete in the Bundesliga. At this moment, I'll take being a Dortmund of the English football, because that would mean I'm competing. We're not even competing at the moment. So let's see what this season does. So far already, ladies and gentlemen, loss against City, win against Wolves, and a very poor draw against Crystal Palace. First half was good. Second half, it all deteriorated. So, yeah. Nehemiah, big up to you, my man. When we couldn't get another striker, we should have gotten Tony. Gyökeres, there you go. See, this is another name. And Tony, look, Tony is someone I think he's a very good striker, but I had issues in terms of his attitude, off-field dramas and whatnot. I think Chelsea had similar problems. But why not Gyökeres? Gyökeres is a particular striker that I said would be perfect for Maresca. Why not Gyökeres? Is it because of his release clause? Is it because that he's above 25 years old? He's 26, I think, turning 27. So a player like him would have been sensational for us. Yes, we were going after Osimhen, no problems. We tried our level best to get Osimhen. Maybe from that sense, we can say that at least Iqbali is not only fixated on kids. We were trying to get Osimhen as well. Gyökeres could help Jackson. I know he's good, but Tony would have scored. The needs help with Jackson missed against Palace. Gyökeres, or yeah, okay. Your English went crazy after the first couple of sentences. Chelsea Ultra, big up to you. Remember, Iqbali said straight up he's here to increase the value of Chelsea as an asset. He does not care about football at all. Look, I've always said that ultimately, you don't really need to win anything. If you operate in a smart manner, you can make money in football. Brighton is the best example for that. Brighton don't need to win anything, but Brighton churn out profits year in, year out. They may not churn out profit this upcoming season because they've spent a lot of money, but they've made so much profit previously that they're not going to be in the negative anyway for too long. And if they carry on the way they're playing now, who knows? They could be potentially back in Europa League or Conference League in the upcoming season. Who knows? Maybe they might even crack into top 4. Highly doubted, but it could happen. So, in terms of increasing value, he doesn't care about football. There could be some truth behind that. A lot of people will say, Miz, that doesn't make sense. You don't bring in Caicedo, you don't bring in, João Felix, Jadon Sancho, Pedro Neto to not win. Of course, yeah, there is the element of winning, but ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that you don't really need to win to make money. If you win, it's better for you. You can make a lot more money, of course, but it's not a necessity. However, for a club like Chelsea, it is a necessity. It is a necessity, and it needs to be done. Miz, Baghdad Iqbali said straight up in an interview when they took over us that he thought Brighton was the most well-run. There you go. There you go. Yes, I remember that interview. I remember those quotes. He did say that. Iqbali, and I think Bowley as well, because we got Graham Potter from there. We got a lot of our staff members from Brighton. Paul Winstonley's from there. A lot of people from Brighton, right? And they do love the Brighton model. They love it because it churns out money. That model absolutely churns out money, and they love the fact that it does that. And, our owners have seen that using players as a commodity, like a stock exchange market, there's a lot of money to be made. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, every summer from here on in, unless we get banned, unless we have a transfer ban, every summer from here on in, I kid you not, it's going to be busy. We're going to be buying players. We're going to be selling players. We're going to be buying players. We're going to be selling players, because it is a bit of a stock market scenario. And especially Clearlake Capital, they're an investment bank, investment bank organization, business. They will love this stock market situation. So, yeah. Most well run in the Premier League. Instead of saying Manchester City, money over football. Mob, Chelsea is too global, do what they want to do. Brighton were the best run, though. He meant to do it bigger scale. I think they are doing it in a bigger scale, no? Jack, they are. We are buying a lot more players than Brighton are. We've got a sister club with Strasbourg, who we're, putting in more kids over there too. So we are doing it at a bigger scale. Are we going to try and win some trophies? That is what we need to see down the track. As I said, let me know if Iqbali is the one that you want to have majority shareholdership. Let me know what your expectations of Iqbali is. When is it acceptable to start saying that it's not good enough? Are we going to give till at least end of this season to see where things are at? Do we want to give them maybe another 2-3 seasons at least to see where Iqbali takes us? Let me know your thoughts, what your expectations are. Me personally, look, club like Chelsea Football Club, this is the third season under the new ownership. Okay, albeit under Iqbali's guidance, we should be good enough to make it to top 4. I feel like that would be sensational. However, I do think that might be a bit of an overachievement, knowing that our manager is inexperienced at the highest level, a lot of inexperienced players as well. If we can make top 6 and then push from next season, fair enough. Financially, it doesn't help us out. But I know a lot of you guys are probably wouldn't be happy with that, a top 6 finish. You probably will demand a top 4 finish and then start competing for the Premier League from the season after. Let me know. Talking in hindsight about players' wages is the stupidest thing ever. Sterling, big name, will not even sign for us with 150k base. Change it to any accomplished player and you'll see how stupid it is. Yeah, I agree. I agree about that. I absolutely agree about that. Sasuke, thank you so much for the super chat. Get them both out. I'm done with these clowns. Yeah, both of them are not getting out. That's for sure. Shivendra, for me this season, 3 strikes rule for me on Iqbali. Okay, well, there you go. Shubham, stop spamming. Porto only paid for half of Samu. Yeah, and let's not forget, like, there is a 50% sell-on clause. Like, Atletico Madrid owns that player 50%. So you're right. They only played half of Samu. Absolutely right. Kuba, if you're going to be thinking about profits, then at least do that on a high level. We are still signing players that aren't giving us profits like Petrovic, Datra Fofana, Cassidy, Washington. True. Andrew, big up to you. Winning is what grows your brand, and being a mediocre is what kills it. Look at Madrid and Man City. Growing Eghbali won't grow our brand, but we will become mediocre. Yeah. Why Eghbali should be given more time, as he was calling the shots for the past 2 seasons. Top 4 is the must, and it's their choice of manager and SD. True. By the end of this season, we need to see some level of improvement so that we can back it next season. If we don't see some level of improvement, in fact, we have stagnated or gone backwards, that's not going to go down well. Means that PR of saying that they can't sell the club for 10 years was a lie. Why is Todd selling his shares? Well, I think we need to look at it in a broader perspective. It's not like they're all selling it up. It's just one owner taking over from another owner. That's not really selling the club, is it? So this whole theory of, but they said that, no, they can't sell the club in 10 years. They have to get, they're still keeping Clearlake Capital is the majority shareholder. And the majority shareholder is looking for a hostile takeover, probably, of Bowley's shares, which is a minority shareholding. This isn't, they can't sell the club. They're not selling the club. It's just a reorganizations of share. So I don't know why people are going out there and saying, they're lying. Look, that might still be a lie, but it's not a lie for this case. Mob, why didn't they sell our quality players, sack Thomas Tuchel, finish 12th, and them now wanting to paddle back to back 4? Yeah. We need to get top 4, otherwise our best players will ask to leave, and I don't want that to happen. I agree with that. We somehow need to get back into top 4, or else how long can we keep some of these players? It's going to be very, very difficult. All right, we're going to slowly wrap things up. We'll take a couple of more comments. Smash up the like button, guys. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Let's get to 36,000 subscribers. Very, very close now. So smash the like button right now. Take the moment right now to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. Arnesh, I don't care until we do well in the pitch. I don't care who the owner is, and will be Eghbali and Bowley is no one. The main man behind them is Clearlake. They are just faces and nothing else. Well, Eghbali is a face of Clearlake, but ultimately he's the one who's representing Clearlake. Eghbali is Clearlake. Bowley is not Clearlake, though. They're two different things. But I hear what you're saying. You don't really care who the owner is. Just start winning. If Todd can convince some Middle Eastern people to buy the club, maybe Clearlake could sell. Yeah, look, money talks. The whole 10-year can't sell within 10. We'll see. I'm sure that there's a loophole there as well. They're all about money, not football. It's difficult, but only hope to see the old Chelsea. Last comment from Kuba is, at what point will you accept that we are a mediocre club? At what point will I accept? I don't think I'll ever accept it, but I think I might have to. Just. What's the word that I'm looking for? It's probably accept. What I'm trying to say is that I don't want Chelsea to be a mediocre club. I don't want that. But I might have to accept that. Maybe that's a better way. Want and accept. Fair enough. At one point, will I accept it? I don't want to ever accept it. I don't want to. I don't want to accept it. I don't want to. But maybe if we don't at least finish in the top 6 this season, we might have to start accepting that it is a mediocre club. Personally, I don't think we are a big club anymore. The only reason we are considered one is because of finances, no other aspects, though. Yeah, fair point, man. Fair point. Justin, big up to engagement with your followers is unmatched. Is much appreciated. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap things up. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. I shall see you guys very, very soon. Until next time, take care. See ya. Bye.